life is most jolly.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. Ready for our final round of the month of September, where myself and the other participants are going to perform randomly chosen works of Shakespeare decided at random by the Wheel of Shakespeare. Myself, Bill, Sheila, John, and Maggie are here to do that for you. Let's bring up the wheel. Sheila will be our first performer today. Screen. Sheila will be our first performer, and then Bill is on deck. Let's see. There we go. Froze up a little bit for a second. Okay, so for our first performance is going to be by Sheila doing Spinning the Wheel of Shakespeare to see what Sheila is going to do for us today. Duke of York, cut, grace me no grace. That's Richard II, Act 2, Scene 3. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Scrolling, there he is.
Hold on a second.
Got him.
Hold on a second. Let me fix the banner. I had a typo in that. Okay, there we go. So whenever you're ready.
I shall not need, excuse me, I'm off on the wrong line. Show me thy humble heart and not thy knee, whose duty is deceivable and false. Tut, tut. Grace me no grace, nor uncle me no uncle. I am no traitor's uncle. And that word grace in an ungracious mouth is but profane. Why have those banished and forbidden legs dared once to touch a dust of England's ground? But then more why? Why have they dared to march so many miles upon her peaceful bosom, frighting her pale-faced villages with war and ostentation of despised arms? Comest thou because the anointed king is hence? Why, foolish boy, the king is left behind, and in my loyal bosom lies his power. Were I but now the lord of such hot youth as when brave Gaunt, thy father, and myself rescued the Black Prince, that young Mars of men, from forth the ranks of many thousand French. Oh, then how quickly should this arm of mine, now prisoner to the palsy, chastise thee and minister correction to thy fault.
Okay, very nice, Celia. Bill is up next, and then Maggie, and I see Eleanor just joined us, so that's great. We got one more performer that's gonna. Okay, so Bill is next. Maggie's on deck. First, Bill is going to do. Juliet, what the first the fire-filled steeds. I believe that's right. Act 2, Scene 1. No, sorry, Act 3, Scene 2. The very beginning of the scene.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, go.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus's lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaethon would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Mood, hood my unmanned blood, bathing in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold think true love acted simple modesty. Come, knight, come, Romeo, come, thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle knight, come, loving black-browed knight, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, yet not yet enjoyed. So tedious is the day, as is the night before some festival to impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. See?
Okay, great. Thanks, Bill. So Maggie is up now, and I am on deck. I'll go after Maggie. Does Capulet.
Okay.
Too soon marred.
2.
Lord Capulet.
Okay, it's going to take me a second.
Act 1, Scene 2 leaves, and too soon marred is how it begins.
Act 1. Okay. Yeah. All right. And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth has swallowed all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. And she agree within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night, I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love. And you, among the store, one more, most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads. Even such delight among fresh female buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Hear all see, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many mine being one may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come with me. Go, Sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written here, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Okay, thanks, Maggie. Great, so it is now my turn, and then Eleanor is on deck. She will go after I perform, and I'm going to do... So there we go. The beginning of Merchant of Venice. Venice. Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There were your argosies with portly sail, like signors and rich burghers on the flood, or, as it were, the pageants of the sea, do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them. Then do they reverence, as they fly by them with their woven wings. My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague, where when I thought what harm a wind too great to a sail might do, I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand, veiling her high up tower, lower than her ribs, to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side, would scatter all her waters with my silks, and in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing? Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing perchance would make me sad? But tell me not. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. Okay. All right, Eleanor, you're up, and you will do... King Richard. Ooh, I'm not aware. Sad stories of the death of kings.
Ooh.
Richard II, Act 3, Scene 2.
Richard II. Act
Beginning
3.
with no matter.
2. All right, then.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go.
No matter where, of comfort no man speak. Let's talk of graves, of worms and epithets. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so. For what can we bequeath save our deposed bodies to the ground? Our lands, our lives, and all our bowling brokes. And nothing can we call our own but death, and that small model of the barren earth which serves as paste and cover to our bones. For God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings, how some have been deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, some sleeping killed, all murdered. For within the hollow crown that rounds the mortal temples of a king keeps death his court, and there the antics sit, scoffing his state and grinning at his pomp, allowing him a breath, a little scene, to monarchize, be feared, and kill with looks, infusing him with self and vain conceit, as if this flesh which walls about our life were brass impregnable. And humor thus comes at the last, and with a little pin bores through his castle wall, and farewell, king. Cover your heads, and mock not flesh and blood with solemn reverence. Throw away respect, tradition, form, and ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends. Subjected thus, how can you say to me, I am a king?
Hey, thanks, Eleanor. That's a great one. So lastly, we have John to do his monologue before we start spinning for some scenes for the six of us to do. So John's monologue is going to be... Benvolio saying, Tybalt, you're slain. And when the prince comes in, asking, demanding what happened. At Act 3, the wheel sure likes Romeo and Juliet today. I think 3 of the 6 of us have gotten something from Romeo and Juliet. So Act 3, Scene 1, Benvolio's response to the prince before Lady Capulet gives her response, Romeo shall not live.
Okay. I am scrolling.
I believe it's toward the very end of a long scene with all the sword fights, and then toward the end, basically summarizing to the prince what just happened.
Okay. Cold reading my usual pre-rationalization. Doing the best I can here. Tybalt here slain, whose Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him to think how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, nose humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing shed at bold Mercio's breast, who all as hot turns steadily point to point, and with a martial scorn, and with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends, part, and swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal point, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled, but by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. That is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
Okay, great. Sorry, I messed up. I put the wrong thing on screen. But good job, John. We're now ready to spin for scenes. We need to get roles for 6 actors. So let's see. First off, we'll have All's Well That Ends Well, Bertram and Diana, Act 4, Scene 2. Bertram and Diana. Henry the Part 2 at Cade and Iden. Part 2. That's Act 4, Scene 10. Cade. I think this is obscure one. I think that's just before the Jack Cade's rebellion when he's confronted in the garden and killed. I think scene that is. I might be remembering wrong. And Henry the Fourth. Ooh, this is the deathbed scene. Great. I wish was father to that thought, Harry. So, King Henry and Prince Hal. Okay. So the 6 roles again that we'll choose, the same order we performed will be the order in which we get a choice of the roles, are Bertram and Diana in All's Well That Ends Well, Act 4, Scene 2, Jack Cade and Iden in Act 4, Scene 10 of Henry VI, Part 2, or the King or Prince Hal in Henry IV's deathbed scene in Henry IV, Part 2, Act 4, Scene 5. So let's see. Sheila performed first. She gets first choice. What would you like, Sheila?
Ooh, I'm going to do King Henry. Woohoo.
Okay. King Henry. Bill, what would you like?
How about Jack Cade, please?
Jack Cade will be Bill. All right. Maggie, what would you like?
I think I will try Hal
Okay, Maggie will be Hal.
in you 4 or 5. Okay.
Yeah, Act 4, Scene 5 of Henry IV, Part 2. Okay, and then myself, I'll take Iden in the Jack Cade scene, so that we just have now Bertram and Diana and Eleanor gets to choose between those. You want to be Diana or Bertram?
I thought there was the king
That's been taken.
Has both King and Hal been taken?
Yeah, Sheila and Maggie are going to do those.
Aha. Okay, so
Yeah, the only thing that's left is the All's Well scene, Bertram and Diana.
Act what?
Act 4, Scene 2.
Act 4, Scene 2.
Be the two of you.
I'll do Diana.
Okay. So Bertram and Diana will be John and Eleanor. So that's Act 4, Scene 2. Let me create the banner for that and for the other two. And then once you two have found where to start from, I'll take myself out of the stream.
Can somebody give me a little heads up here? Who do I have? Bertram?
Bertram, yeah.
In 10 words or less, what's this about?
I think there's a scene where, he was supposed to marry the star. He was forced to marry her, and he says, well, fine, the king can make me marry, what's her name? Helena. Well, fine, they can make me marry her, but he's not going to make me sleep with her. So runs off to the wars, and now he's found Diana that he's in love with, and he's going after her. Well, he won't sleep with his own wife because he didn't want to marry her in the first place. His mom and the king made him marry Helena.
Okay, that's very nice. Thank you. That sounds like her.
All right.
No, that was very,
So
very.
Whenever you two are ready, go.
Okay, are we doing that? We're first?
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
This is the first one that we've done, so we'll start with.
They told me that your name was Fontibel.
No, my good lord. Diana.
Titled goddess and worth it, with addition. But fair soul, in your fine frame hath love no quality. If quick fire of youth light not your mind, you are no maiden, but a monument. When you are dead, you should be such a one as you are now, for you are cold and stem, and now you should be as your mother was when your sweet self was God.
She then was honest.
So should you be.
No, my mother did but duty, such, my lord, as you owe to your wife.
No more of that, I pray thee. Do not stray against my vows. I was compelled to her, but I love thee by love's own sweet constraint, and will forever do thee all rights of service.
So you serve us till we serve you. But when you have our roses, you barely leave our thorns to prick ourselves and mock us with our bareness.
How have I sworn?
'Tis not the many oaths that makes the truth, but the plain single vow that is vowed true. What is not holy, that we swear not by, but take the highest to witness. Then pray you, tell me, if I should swear by God's great attributes I loved you dearly, would you believe my oaths when I did love you ill? This has no holding to swear by him whom I protest to love, that I will work against him. Therefore your oaths are words and poor conditions, but unsealed, at least in my opinion.
Change it, change it. Be not so wholly cruel. Love is holy, and my integrity ne'er knew the crafts that you do charge men with. Stand no more off, but give thyself unto my sick desires, who then recover. Say thou art mine, and ever my love as it began shall so persever.
I see that men make ropes in such a scar that we'll forsake ourselves. Give me that ring.
I'll lend it thee, my dear, but have no power to give it from me.
Will you not, my lord?
It is an honor longing to our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy the world in me to lose.
Mine honors such a ring. My chastity's the jewel of our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy in the world in me to lose. Thus your own proper wisdom brings in the champion honor on my part against your vain assault.
Here, take my ring. My house, mine honor, yea, my life be thine, and I'll be bid by thee.
When midnight comes, knock at my chamber window. I'll order take my mother shall not hear. Now will I charge you in the band of truth. When you have conquered my yet maiden bed, remain there but an hour, nor speak to me. My reasons are most strong, and you shall know them when back again this ring shall be delivered. And on your finger in the night I'll put another ring, that what in time precedes may token to the future our past deeds. Adieu till then fail not. You have won a wife of me, though there my hope be done.
A heaven on earth I have won by wooing thee.
For which live long to thank both heaven and me. You may so in the end. My mother told me just how he would woo, as if she said in its heart. She says all men have the like oaths. He had sworn to marry me when his wife's dead, therefore I'll lie with him when I am buried. Since Frenchmen are so brave, marry that will. I live and die a maid, only in this disguise. I think it no sin to cozen him that would unjustly win.
Okay, thank you, you guys. Okay, now it's time for myself and Bill to do the Cade and Iden scene. And it starts with it's just Cade is on stage and then Iden comes in. So are you ready, Bill? I'll take myself out for you to do the little monologue before Iden comes in.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so I'll take myself out and you can.
Okay. Fie on ambition, fie on myself, that have a sword, and yet am ready to famish. These 5 days have I hid me in these woods, and durst not peep out, for all the country is laid for me. But now am I so hungry that if I might have a lease of my life for 1,000 years, I could stay no longer. Wherefore on a brick wall have I climbed into this garden to see if I can eat grass or pick a salad another while. which is not amiss to cool a man's stomach this hot weather. And I think this word salad was born to do me good. For many a time, but for a salad, my brain pan had been cleft with a brown bill. And many a time when I have been dry and bravely marching, it hath served me instead of a quart pot to drink in. And now the word salad must serve me to feed on.
Lord, who would live turmoiled in the court and may enjoy such quiet walks as these? This small inheritance of my father left me, contenteth me, and with a monarchy I seek not to wax great by others' waning, or gather wealth I care not, with what envy sufficeth that I have mainstay to my state, and sends the poor well pleased from my gate.
Here's the Lord of the soil come to seize me for a stray, for entering his fee simple without leave. Ah, villain, that would betray me and get 1,000 crowns of the king, carrying my head to him. But I'll make thee eat iron like an ostrich, and swallow my sword like a great pin, ere thou and I part.
Why, rude companion, whatsoe'er thou be, I know thee not. Why then should I betray thee? Is't not enough to break into my garden, and like a thief to come to rob my grounds, climbing my walls in spite of me, the owner? But thou wilt brave me with these saucy terms?
Brave thee I, by the best blood that ever was broached, and beard thee too. Look on me well. I have eat no meat these 5 days, yet come thou and thy 5 men, and if I do not leave you all as dead as Dormail, I pray God I may never eat grass more.
Nay, it shall ne'er be said, while England stands, that Alexander Iton, an esquire of Kent, took odds to combat a poor famished man. Oppose thy steadfast gazing eyes to mine. See if thou canst outface me with my looks. Set limb to limb, and thou art far the lesser. Thy hand is but a finger to my fist, thy leg a stick compared with this truncheon. My foot shall fight with all the strength thou hast, and if mine arm be heaved in the air, thy grave is digged already in the earth. As for words whose greatness answers words, let this my sword report what speech forbears.
By my valor, the most complete champion that ever I heard, still if thou turn the edge or cut not out the burly bone clown in chines of beef ere thou sleep in my sheath, I beseech God on my knees thou mayest be turned to hobnails. Oh, I am slain. Famine, and no other hath slain me. But 10,000 devils come against me and give me but 10 meals I have lost, and I'll defy them all. Wither, garden, and be henceforth a burying place to all that do dwell in this house, because the unconquered soul of Cade is fled.
Is Cade that I have slain, that monstrous traitor? Sword, I will hollow thee for this thy deed, and hang thee o'er my tomb when I am dead. Ne'er shall this blood be wiped from thy point, but thou shalt wear it as a herald's coat, to emblaze the honor that thy master got.
Iden, farewell, and be proud of thy victory. Tell Kent from me she hath lost her best man, and exhort all the world to be cowards. For I, that never feared any, am vanquished by famine, not by valor.
How much thou wrongest me, heaven be my judge. Die, damned wretch, the curse of her that bare thee. And as I thrust thy body in with my sword, so wish I might thrust thy soul to hell. Hence will I drag thee headlong by the heels unto a dunghill, which shall be thy grave, and there cut off thy most ungracious head, which I will bear in triumph to the king, leaving thy trunk for crows to feed upon. Okay, so now we have the King Henry deathbed scene. That's Sheila and Maggie. And I saw you were going to start with wherefore did he take away the crown? I think that's where you. And I see after that, there's he. I like to take it to the end of the scene. It's a nice little bit that the king says at the end. But he calls in. I'll just enter myself and do those just one line for Prince
Yeah.
John.
Okay.
That works.
One. I'll just say those as fillers to the queue so that you guys can conclude the scene with the king making that good concluding speech. But I'll
There
take
we go.
myself. I'll add
Very
myself
good.
in so you can finish the scene.
But wherefore did he take away the crown? Lo, where he comes. Come hither to me, Harry. Depart the chamber, leave us here alone.
I never thought to hear you speak again.
Thy wish was father, Harry, to that thought. I stay too long by thee, I weary thee. Dost thou so hunger for mine empty chair that thou wilt needs invest thee with my honors before the hour be ripe? Oh, foolish youth, thou seekest the greatness that will o'erwhelm thee. Stay but a little, for my cloud of dignity is held from falling with so weak a wind that it will quickly drop. My day is dim. Thou hast stolen that which after some few hours were thine without offense. And at my death thou hast sealed up my expectation. Thy life did manifest thou lovest me not, and thou wilt have me die, assured of it. Thou hidest 1,000 daggers in thy thoughts, which thou hast whetted on thy stony heart, to stab at half an hour of my life. What, canst thou not forbear me half an hour? Get thee gone, and dig my grave thyself, and bid the merry bells ring to thine ear that thou art crowned, not that I am dead. Let all the tears that should bedew my hearse be drops of balm to sanctify thy head. Only compound me with forgotten dust. Give that which gave thee life unto the worms. Pluck down my officers, break my decrees, for now a time is come to mock at form. Harry the Fifth is crowned. Up vanity, down royal state. All your sage counselors hence, and to the English court assemble now from every region, apes of idleness. Now, neighbor confines, purge you of your scum. Have you a ruffian that will swear, drink, dance, revel the night, rob, murder, and commit the oldest sins, the newest kind of ways? Be happy, he will trouble you no more. England shall double gild his treble guilt. England shall give him office, honor, might. For the fifth Harry from the curbed license plucks the muzzle of restraint, and the wild dog shall flesh his tooth on every innocent. Oh, my poor kingdom, sick with civil blows, when that my care could not withhold thy riots. What wilt thou do when riot is thy care? Oh, thou wilt be a wilderness again, peopled with wolves, thy old inhabitants.
Oh, pardon me, my liege, but for my tears, the moist impediments unto my speech, I had forestalled this dear and deep rebuke ere you with grief had spoken. I had heard the course of it so far. There is your crown, and he that wears the crown immortally long guard it yours. If I affect it more than as your honor and as your renown, let me no more from this obedience rise, which my most inward true and duteous spirit teacheth, this prostrate and exterior bending. God witness with me, when I here came in and found no course of breath within your majesty. How cold it struck my heart. If I do feign, oh, let me in my present wildness die and never live to show the incredulous world the noble change that I have purposed. Coming to look on you, thinking you dead, and dead almost, my liege, to think you were, I spake unto this crown as having sense, and thus upbraided it. The care on thee depending hath fed upon the body of my father. Therefore, thou best of gold art, worst of gold, other less fine in carat is more precious, preserving life in medicine potable. But thou, most fine, most honored, and most renowned, hast eat thy bearer up. Thus, my most royal liege, accusing it, I put it on my head to try with it as with an enemy that had before my face murdered my father, the quarrel of a true inheritor. But if it did infect my blood with joy or swell my thoughts to any strain of pride, if any rebel or vain spirit of mine did with the least affection of a welcome give entertainment to the might of it, let God forever keep it from my head and make me as the poorest vassal is that doth with awe and terror kneel to it.
Oh, my son, God put it in thy mind to take it hence, that thou mightst win the more thy father's love, pleading so wisely in excuse of it. Come hither, Harry. Sit thou by my bed, and hear, I think, the very latest counsel that ever I shall breathe. God knows, my son, by what bypaths and indirect crooked ways I met this crown, and I myself know well how troublesome it sat upon my head. To thee it shall descend with bitter quiet, better opinion, better confirmation, for all the soil of the achievement goes with me into the earth. It seemed in me but as an honor snatched with boisterous hand, and I had many living to upbraid my gain of it by their assistances, which daily grew to quarrel and of bloodshed, wounding supposed peace. All these bold fears thou seest with peril I have answered, for all my reign hath been but as a scene acting that argument. And now my death changes the mode, for what in me was purchased falls upon thee in a more fairer sort. So thou the garland wearest successfully, yet, though thou standest more sure than I could do, thou art not firm enough, since griefs are green, and all my friends, which thou must make thy friends, have but their stings and teeth newly taken out, by whose fell working I was first advanced, and by whose power I well might lodge a fear to be again displaced, which to avoid I cut them off, and had a purpose now to lead out many to the Holy Land, lest rest and lying still might make them look too near unto my state. Therefore, my Harry, be it thy course to busy giddy minds with foreign quarrels, that action hence borne out may waste the memory of the former days. More would I, but my lungs are wasted so that strength of speech is utterly denied me. How I came by the crown, oh, God forgive, and grant it may with thee in true peace live.
My gracious liege, you won it, wore it, kept it, gave it me, then plain and right must my possession be, which I with more than a common pain 'gainst all the world will rightfully maintain.
Look, Look, here comes my John of Lancaster.
Health, peace, and happiness to my royal father.
Thou bringst me happiness and peace, son John, but health alack with youthful wings is flown from this bare withered trunk. Upon thy sight my worldly business makes a period. Where's my lord of Warwick?
My lord of Warwick.
Doth any name particular belong unto the lodging where I first did swoon?
'Tis called Jerusalem, my noble lord.
Laud be in God, even there my life must end. It hath been prophesied to me many years I should not die but in Jerusalem, which vainly I suppose the Holy Land, but bear me to that chamber. There I'll die. In that Jerusalem shall Harry lie. Scene.
Okay, great job, you two, and well, and for everyone, well, the two were performing right there, of course, but everybody, great performances today, everybody. Glad we got to meet again for our final round of Wheel of Shakespeare for the month of September. I look forward to seeing you all again, same time next week for the first performance of October, and regularly every Saturday, same time on this channel on YouTube for the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. I'll see you guys then. Look forward to it. Bye now.